Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second installment of Sheeple comments. As you can see, the last one that I did was about 4 months ago, right there, 23 minutes and 12 seconds, so it's been a little while since I did one of these. The last time I was prompted to do it because just reading through what these people are saying and how the mindset of people in the world evolve over time. I have a whole bunch lined up for you, these comments, and let me assure you that you are going to get as mad as I did last night while reading them. And I actually took screenshots of them so I don't have to go down through and loading all the time, and the recording app possibly messes up. So I have them screenshotted, but I wanted to welcome you guys to another installment of Sheeple Comments Part 2. This is Part 1 right here that you are looking at. So if you haven't watched that one, which I'm sure many of you have not, you should. I did it about 4 months ago, and it's all right. It's all right. Well, let's get into it. All right, and here we are at the beginning of these comments. These are all my screenshots, so I won't be able to, click on the replies and whatnot. But honestly, as we go on, you will understand that I don't even need to do that. And I'm sure it is even more terrible in all the replies. But yes, I forgot to take a screenshot of the article itself. But the title of the article was, "What do we do if the unvaccinated cannot be persuaded?" And these are just some of the replies to that. So, excuse me, just came out of nowhere. I'm drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes, guys, so you have to bear with me. Alrighty. So yes, what do we do if the unvaccinated cannot be persuaded? And as you can see, this is a New York Times article. Let's start here at the top. I won't say these people's names, of course. I'm not going to do all that, but you can read them. That's all right. All right, the first one. "I think we all know the answer to this, but until they bite the dust, they need to stay home and be barred from public events and transportation." Okay. Pretty extreme, but not as extreme as some of these people, mind you. But, so we got this person calling for people to, well, basically be put on house arrest and to be barred from public events and transportation. That's pretty much expected from any one of these people at this point in time. Next, "Then they die? Mind you, if they can't be vaccinated for medical, we as a society should help protect them by getting vaccinated." Okay. All right. Wait, I think I tried to do this in a way to where I could just I tried to do this in a way to where I was at the bottom of the screen and I took a picture of the next screen, but I think I messed up a couple places, so we'll skip this one. This person actually, this is the mindset that people should probably have. "Let them take their chance in their families and communities. Someone's not going to make it. If they're okay with that, let them go." Well, I thank you, whoever your name is. That's all right. That's not too bad. Not trying to infringe on somebody, so not bad. This person also, "You can't convince people who don't want to hear it. Protect yourself, your family, and go on with your life. The refusers have selected their path." Okay. Now check this out. This is funny. This is funny. It's not the whole comment, but this is really hilarious, and they actually got called out because the article was talking about how Washington saved the army, which would have been annihilated had he not intervened with vaccines. "He had smallpox as a young man, did not hesitate to vaccinate army immediately, although the prevailing whatever, blah, 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 blah." Hey, the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure the first, quote, vaccine wasn't discovered until 1791, somewhere around there, so yeah. Way after, so the article was blatantly lying, and it was talking about that. Next, Well, it's time we start caring about people with functional brains, ones who care about others and leave the anti-vaxxers behind. They quite literally brought this on themselves, and whatever happens, they're the only ones they'll have to blame. There should be a deadline for vaccination, and all those, less kids and medical reasons, who choose not to be vaccinated will be responsible for their medical expenses should they develop COVID-19 after the deadline, whatever. Oh, it's going to get good. It's going to get good. They and family members will get affected and die. Republicans will lose their own voters. So again, the Hegelian dialectic, pick a side, has prevailed. They think that if you refuse this thing, that automatically makes you a Republican. One of the reasons we won the war, many of the British troops died of smallpox. It was a smart decision on Washington's part. No, there were no jabs back then. So, I forgot about that. My bad, guys. Okay. This person is just talking about something both corporatist parties will go along with. Insurance companies should be allowed to raise premiums for people who refuse the vaccine for anything other than medical purposes approved by a doctor. Then we may never reach herd immunity, and the pandemic will keep mutating till we have no way to stop it. More and more people will die. Trump will be sad. He may lose most of his followers. So again, these people believe that if you take the personal choice not to, become inoculated or whatever they're trying to say, then that automatically makes you a Trump supporter, which it does not. It does not. And these people always sit on their high horses. They're always sitting up on their high horses, thinking that what they did was the most justified moral thing that anybody could ever do. And if you're against it, then you're a piece of shit and you need to die. That's basically what we're going to be getting into, actually. People are sometimes forced to do something. For example, mandatory draft of young men to go and die in Vietnam. Yes, they could refuse and go to jail or to Canada, but it's an example of making people do what. See, I didn't get it down, so I didn't start doing the screen to screen thing until down a little bit. I got a bunch here, so some of the comments are clipped and I can't read the end of them. But yeah, this guy is just justifying in his own mind that sometimes people are forced to do something. And then he uses the example of mandatory draft of young men to go and die in Vietnam. A country where we were never supposed to be. And just everything that went on with that. So, not a very good example. Statist. Oh wait, here it is. I'm an idiot. That's an example of making people do what the government considers is needed for the country, and people are forced to wear helmets riding motorcycles. So is being forced to wear a mask just fine. But as for the jab, and he just went on to say basically that. Check this out. What if the unvaccinated can't be persuaded? Then they can quit whining about mask mandates because they're the cause. And they can stop whining about not being allowed on cruise ships and airplanes because they have the control to fix those things. So the narrative is working that we are perpetuating this whole thing, and it won't end because we're the ones who have the power to fix it, and we just won't, and all this. And these people literally think that if everyone takes this thing, then we're all going to go back to normal. They still believe that. It is crazy. It is crazy. Check this out. If they refuse vaccination, it's because their beliefs will protect them. Beliefs greater than immune system. Ooh, yeah. Just wait till the final report on the safety and well, you said efficiency, but it's supposed to be efficacy, but I guess you could use that as well. Due in 2023. Once that's published and a full FDA approval given, then fears hopefully will be put to bed and people will volunteer. Forcing people to take a vaccine still under emergency approved is wrong. Good. Somebody is sort of breaking through the propaganda. It's crazy. And now look, this person in 1798, the first smallpox vaccine was developed. How could he have vaccinated the troops in 1777? So, and you got people laughing at him and this and that. Now look at this guy. This guy made me very happy. A lot of these comments are so inhumane. The comments about camps or isolation remind anyone of anything. Oh yeah, Nazi Germany. Many of you doing it for other people are really only concerned with yourselves. How about have some humility and stop being keyboard warriors? You, sir, are great. And that's exactly what this is. And oh, it gets good, guys. It gets good. Check this out. Make everyone show a vaccination card to be allowed in stores, movies, and public places. Why should we be held responsible for them? They are responsible for their actions. Do you remember when they said that they were going to get people to accept, and not only accept, but to beg for these passports? This is one of the people, this top person here, this is one of the people that said that was crazy, would never happen, conspiracy theory, to now begging for it. Because why should we be held responsible for them literally turning people against each other? They are turning people into savages. Savages. Look at this. Doctor here. If you won't get vaccinated for yourself, do it for your neighbors. Do it for your community. Do it for our economy. This anti-vax movement is highly political, but there is nothing political about COVID. Our communities are struggling and the vaccine is the way out. The risk of COVID is incomparably large compared to the risk of the vaccine. I would never tell any of my patients, and he just basically says what he's been saying here. There's so much wrong with that comment, I'm not even going to go into it. Look at this person. Then they should stay at home. This is not about that my body, my choice BS. We're in a pandemic, and it's a matter of public health and safety once you get out of your house. Yeah, so it's just BS, my body, my choice, right? That's BS. According to this guy, you should be forced to stay in your house. You know, equal human beings born, all equal under God, who share this land and the earth itself. This is where this is going. Unfortunately, it may be time. People can't act like adults. They're going to get their hands smacked. And these people poking holes, amazing that Washington left office a year before the vaccine was invented, but he still made it mandatory. And this person, it's wonderful reading all the comments from Revolutionary War historians on this feed. Google geniuses abound. It's not Revolutionary War historians. That's just a simple fact. You can find it anywhere, actually. Just because New York Times said that that's not the truth doesn't mean that, it's not. Because I'm pretty sure you can even go on Wikipedia and it will tell you when the first smallpox, whatever. Unfortunately, the only way these people are changing their minds is what affects them personally. Yeah, funny you say that, actually. Funny you say that. What if those of us who are vaccinated are left wondering why we did it in the first place, since we can still contract it, pass it on, and have to wear masks? It's useless. Gee. You don't say. You just figuring that out? Look at this. That's what the FEMA camps are for. That's what the FEMA camps are for. Holy mother of God. We now have Americans who are openly saying that other Americans should be locked in FEMA camps. So these people went from denying the existence of such camps to now accepting them and saying they're a good idea because, we can put the unvaccinated in there, right? Think about DHS training. Think about military. Think about DOJ saying that it's legal to force this thing. Think about the legal immunity that the soldiers are going to have. Yes, that's what the FEMA camps are for. I bet last year this guy was even saying there was no FEMA camps. They would never use those. Dude, you're going to end up in there as well. And of course, we get people saying things like, well, Charles Darwin had lots to say on this subject. Yeah, and you ever see the Charles Darwin deathbed confession where he literally confessed that his whole life's work was for nothing and he didn't even mean any of it, and that he gave his life to Christ in that very last minute, so he said. So, yeah. We'll have a fifth and sixth wave. This will drag on for years. Yeah, you think that just because people aren't getting vaccinated that this is dragging on for years because of that? Oh no, it's a long-sought plan, and it's going exactly as they wanted it to. We limit access to services, no restaurants, theaters, cruises, gyms, etc. We? When do you ever get a say? Ryan, when do you ever get a say? You think you're going to be on their side? You think you're going to have power in the New World Order? No. You're just like the rest of us. A useless eater. According to them. So, you are begging for your own enslavement. They are now becoming the research control group. I would say it's the other way around, but there's a greater chance they will die or cause a loved one to die. Stupid is as stupid does. Insurers should charge them or drop their coverage. So you're saying that people should be denied all medical treatment for anything if they don't take this thing, which isn't even what you think it is. What is going on? They will be obligated if they want a normal life. So again, the mindset that we will be going back to normal and will be obligated. This person got it right. This is why protecting your own immune system is so important. Okay, even though right now there's nothing, crazy out there to that's going through and doing whatever, but it's something. They can. I'm done trying to convince anyone. Their minds are made up. Just give me my boosters as needed. Bah. Bah. Freedom is bad. Bah. Then they have to wear a mask and not get entry to events that could contaminate others. It's their choice. Check this out. Guantanamo Bay, perhaps. It sounds so today. Oh, so yet another person who is under the assumption and belief that we should lock people up. Come on. Come on. This is literally any dictatorship throughout history. It's literally the same thing. It never changed. Got a little bit more intricate, but all of the ways that they go about it are still the same. They still get the people all brainwashed. They still forward the entire agenda exactly as they always have. The vaccine should be mandatory. Only when you experience yourself that works and protects you, then you will change your beliefs. As if you don't, it will no longer be relevant as it is now. Make it mandatory for those who don't want to get it. Make them get tested regularly in addition to wearing masks. The U.S. will never get to a majority vaccinated by letting... Where's it at? See, that's where I was messing up again because I did it late at night and I was very tired. All these people are calling for this and they don't understand. It's not just going to be for this situation. This is something that... man. This person, a brave soul. Oh, I wasn't aware that GW was also an epidemiologist and understood the long-term effects on the mRNA vaccine is totally untested. Thanks for making us all aware so we continue to vilify people who actually choose to think before acting. Let's just nerf the entire world and keep everyone alive until they're 250. Kurt Vonnegut has a short story about a world where everyone lives as long as they want. It's not pretty. Then keep them off planes, out of venues, entertainment, sports, and out of school and whatever. Workplaces. Make it hard for their ignorance to deny the rest of us any more of our lives, health, and freedom. You think I am denying you your freedom? I'm not doing any of that. I never asked you to do anything. I never asked you to do anything. It's the government who is denying you your health, lives, and freedom. And now you're begging the people that are making your life that way, you're begging them to come down hard on us because you think that we're the enemy and we're holding everybody back. Until people of all ages can be vaccinated, the term unvaccinated to mean people who refuse to get the vaccine is, but he said a misnomer. Then we're in a world of hurt, or the unvaccinated will just kill themselves off. I will be glad when my kiddo can get vaccinated. Okay. What if this guy says opinion? What if the vaccine ends up degenerating humankind? Well, just might get that. You just might get that. I once had sympathy for those who flouted safety measures and didn't take this pandemic seriously. Now the vaccine is free and available in any corner drugstore. I just can't care about these people anymore. Either bar the unvaccinated from all indoor public spaces or let the calling run its course. Does anybody else see a problem with any of this? These people are insane. They will probably die. This person said, in America, we have freedom of choice speech. Those freedoms also came with responsibility. Always. Freedom always comes with responsibility. Accountability of our choices. Can't convince them. We just hold them accountable. Okay, wait a minute. You're talking about freedom. And you're talking about responsibility. But you're saying that you hold people accountable for not taking something that they don't want for very good reasons. You, sir, do not believe in freedom. And that's not the responsibility that actually comes with freedom. Bring them to the rest of the world. Then they deserve to get it and be horribly sick. Don't care no more. Okay. Then you get, these people on here. Sure, but he and Nate together still couldn't beat Trump. Leaders do the right thing. Keep people safe despite their ignorance. Government's not there to keep you safe. Then they must go into isolation. Says who? If they could do it for one thing, they could do it for all things. So tied to their federal benefits. Give it in their sleep. They'll never know. Are you serious? Are you serious? They will not. Law should protect people from being forced to undergo medical treatment they don't want. Not the other way around. They're trying to trample our rights. Thank you, sir. You are a true warrior. Honestly. Then make them pay for hospitalization if unvaccinated. No use of public transportation or airplanes, and no team sports. Make the stakes higher. Don't be wishy-washy. These people are literally begging the government to trample all of us. He who denies freedom to somebody else deserves it not for themselves. So, take away federal state employment. Revoke school privileges. No Medicare. No income tax refund. No federal college aid. Destroy all semblance of normal government-assisted existence. What? Which, of course, is the point of being on those benefits, because they will do that, but what? In the polio epidemic, they made them stay in their house and put polio signs in their yards. I would like to see that. I don't think that ever happened. Maybe there were one or two people, but are we all in the military? That's a good one. They can go the way of the dinosaur. Darwin be like, he. This person, then you leave them alone. Thank you. Thank you. Not everybody's a sheep. Natural selection. Too many laws, more loopholes, freedom of speech, freedom of action, and it goes on and on. Should have mandated or woman-dated it from day one. Oh, yeah. Jeez. Oh, man. These people literally compare this to, like, the Black Plague or smallpox when it's not even, it's literally, quite literally, nothing. Nothing. The Republicans will just march up to the Supreme Court crying suppression and violation of their religious rights. It's not just Republicans, pal, so you need to get out of that dichotomous thinking, and you need to understand what the Hegelian dialectic is, but you don't, and that's why you're on here saying just Republicans. So, there's that. My body, my choice, no matter who it might hurt. This person is being sarcastic, and that's what a lot of people believe. Like, oh, you're hurting people. It doesn't matter. Okay to vaccinate, but stress the importance of a healthy lifestyle. Also, vitamin D, fruits, veggies, exercise. Masking and avoiding super spreader events. Can't we be patient to avoid going to these super spreader events? These are people that have ate the propaganda from day one, even before all this. Let natural selection take its course. Then we will all pay the price, and many of us will be very angry. Yeah, that's the whole point. And the price they're talking about paying is that, the government will come down on all of us, which is the point. And you're all going to be very angry, but at the wrong people, so they win. They win. We end up with a homegrown terrorist bioweapon of mass destruction. There's that word. There's that T word. Because we're all going to be terrorists, right? We're all going to be terrorists. Because we won't go and get this thing. You can get the National Guard out with syringe rifles. That's the only way to protect us all. So this guy wants, military enforcement with rifles with the shots in them to protect all of us. Oh my. Oh my. Now, mind you guys, this is one article. This is one article. They will die of new variants. I don't want the Trump filth to get vaccinated. The more of them that remove their own toxic genes from the gene pool, the better I'll be pleased. You see what I'm talking about with their high horse? First of all, again, just because you refuse something doesn't make you a Trump supporter. The QAnon psychological operation was so successful on their part. It was a very genius move on their part. The whole Trump presidency was a genius move on their part. Because now they got people thinking like this. And talking about toxic genes from the gene pool, the better I'll be pleased. Like, okay, you don't think that you're in that gene pool that is going to be cleansed? You don't think that you are considered a useless eater just like the rest of us? You think you have some special privilege? Again, you are not going to be in charge in the New World Order. Robert, you need to come down from your high horse. Then cut them out of your life. I will not be around friends or family that decline the vaccination, period. Make it no vaccination, no access to hospitals. I bet that would prod some anti-vaxxers. Don't pay people $100 to get vaccinated. We did not ask to be paid to protect ourselves and others. This is a disgusting concept. No, I'll tell you what's disgusting. Denying people help and medical attention for anything because they won't go get something. Look at this person. Hey, if it gets rid of Trump believers. First of all, Trump supporters are people too. Yeah, they make me mad, Yes, they have different political ideologies than myself, but guess what? I understand freedom, and I understand that you don't go around saying that we need to commit genocide against an entire group of people just based on their political leanings. You don't do that. You must guard your political opposition from encroaching tyranny, or else that tyranny will eventually reach unto you when everybody else is gone. This guy down here is awesome. I won't read his comment, but he just basically is saying, what a lot of people think. Look at this. I'm thinking concentration camps. Then let natural selection take its course. Sorry to be blunt, but the herd needs a little thinning. Again, you are part of the herd that will be thinned. You are a disgusting person. You are a disgusting, vile piece of human trash. You are the liquid that separates itself from feces, my friend. You are effectively wanting to throw your fellow Americans, regardless of whatever, into concentration camps and saying the herd needs a little thinning. That's the mindset that the people at the top have. And you know what Hitler said? Hitler said, one of the greatest things about the totalitarian state is it forces its subjects to mimic it. That is what these people are doing. They are literally putting themselves in the same mindset as the people at the top. But they're not going to be included with the people at the top. Obviously, wanting to throw people in concentration camps for their beliefs, and none of this has to even be political. It's just, untested, rushed, the first of its kind. A lot of people have seen what it actually is and don't want it. If there was actually a bunch of dead people laying in the street, like if I took a walk to the other end of town and I saw like every third house somebody dead laying on the ground, and it was actually something that was really that bad, then I would think that maybe they might be telling the truth and that I should go get something like that. Maybe. But none of that is happening. None of it. None of it. They'd better die off quickly so the rest of us aren't at risk. This guy, the vaccine won't kill you. It's not like you're going to the urologist or going for a colonoscopy or delivering a baby. Everyone will get that vaccine one way or another, whether they know it or not. That's scary. All of the variants seem to be coming from the parts of the world that don't have vaccines, or the vaccines they don't have aren't as effective as the Moderna Pfizer. Rather than worrying about people here that won't take it, wouldn't it be better to remove the patient protection so other parts of the world can create the same vaccines if we have and lower the change of the variants? Oh, they did mean patent. I don't know what to say about this because all of these comments are coming from a place of ignorance. Actual ignorance. Literal ignorance on this subject. Have them sign a do not resuscitate. Yeah. This person will never take that lethal injection ever. Many here look eager to usher in communism. Yeah, that's what I thought, buddy. And this guy goes on about the first smallpox vaccine that was discovered by an English doctor in 1796, published discovery in 1801. Perhaps the New York Times is lying to the public, is why the unvaccinated can't be persuaded. They're actually harming the vaccination effort because trust is what is needed, blah, 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 whatever. And yeah, so they are lying. This person started off good. I thought I was about to read something decent, but then at the end, I was like, ooh. That was before the Tuskegee syphilis study. Also, if we really have so much data, why isn't it FDA approved? Get it FDA approved, then we could talk about government mandates. For the record, I am vaxxed. So you know about the Tuskegee syphilis study. You know about that stuff. And you shared a link of 40 years of human experimentation. But you said if it gets FDA approved, then you will talk about government mandates, and you took it. What? Then they die, and we have fewer but better Americans. Do you believe that? Fewer but better Americans, guys. All we gotta do is just get rid of the undesirables. This is how it always works. I was telling people for years that they were going to get people to want to get rid of the undesirables, and everybody's definition of an undesirable is different. So then what happens? We all become the category of the undesirable, and then the government clamps down on all of us. Well, this new world government actually will be the one to do that. These people are taking us there further, allowing this to go on. And they think what they're doing is just. They think they are the privileged part of society. We're first-class citizens. These people talk a lot about, equality and whatnot, but they're demanding that there be modern-day segregation. First- and second-class citizens. Their entire existence is hypocrisy. I went through and just took a whole pictures of a bunch of these. Check this out. It doesn't matter if vaccinations cannot be mandated. Quarantines can be. It's in the Constitution. Show me where. Show me where, sir, that quarantines are in the Constitution. You know what? This person would not be able to because it's not in there. The Constitution was a document that, prevents the government from acting as they always act once they get too powerful. Vaccine passports will encourage most of the holdouts. This isn't a group that's demonstrated the ability to deal well with even a mild inconvenience. A mild inconvenience. A mild inconvenience. A mild inconvenience. Weren't they just saying that whenever it started with the 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and the mask wear and social distance? Like, oh, guys, just a mild inconvenience. What about now? So we had the biggest wealth transfer in the history of the world. They all got, people at the top got 300 times more rich, and we got 300 times more poor. They isolated everybody. They destroyed everybody's ability to think. They are now culling the entire human population. But yeah, this isn't a group that's demonstrated the ability to deal with even a mild inconvenience. Who said anything about groups, dude? It's not a group. This is the danger also of grouping people, and when we turn away from our individual rights. You start thinking in groups, that's when you start getting, exactly what we have now. A mild inconvenience. That one irked me the wrong way. Is that the end? Oh. Well, I guess that's the end of it. I should have took more. This is one article, guys. This is one article. One article. Imagine imagine. This is crazy. Fewer but better Americans. People talking about throwing people in concentration camps. Natural selection. And 2 or 3 people on here. The one guy said Guantanamo. The one lady said concentration camps. And then that guy said that's what the FEMA camps are for. So you got 3 different people in one article so far, and I only read like a little bit down. There was thousands of comments. I didn't even go into the, replies and stuff to all of this because it just gets worse. But this is just terrible. This is ruining everything. This mindset is the mindset that caused the extermination of hundreds of millions of people last century. I'm thinking concentration camps. All they need is the approval of one half of the country against the other half. And once they take out the other half, then that half will be easily taken out. Sorry to be blunt, but the herd needs a little thinning. Dude, are you a billionaire? Do you take part in these tabletop exercises? Were you born into one of the 13 families that rule the world? If not, then you are part of the herd that they believe needs thinning. And this person, hey, if it gets rid of Trump believers, what if somebody said that about any other group of people? Hey, if it gets rid of all the, if it gets rid of all the Democrats. Oh, hey, if it gets rid of all the abortion people. Hey, if it gets rid of all the Christians. It goes back to, a modern day version of this little writing would be, first they went for the Republicans, and I did not speak out because I was not a Republican. Then they went for the independents, and I did not speak out because I did not identify as an independent. Then they went for Antifa. I didn't speak out because I wasn't a part of Antifa. Then they went for BLM. Did not speak out because I wasn't part of that. Then they went for... then they came for me and there was nobody left to speak. That's what's happening. Real time. Right now. Right now. And this person, I don't want the Trump bill to get vaccinated. Like, okay, I understand. People don't really... It doesn't matter if you like Trump supporters or not. They're still people. They're still American citizens. They just made a poor judgment call by supporting somebody who they thought had their best interests. That doesn't mean that they should be killed. Nobody should be. If there's a communist out on the corner out here where I live, and he's got the whole communist flag, and he's out there and he's going off about communism and this and that, and then there was also a Nazi, had the Nazi flag, was quoting Hitler, was going on about all this stuff, and if there was somebody who was a fascist out there, a socialist, doesn't matter. All of those things I disagree with, but you know what? I would walk by them and I would say, have a good day. You know why? And I would not try to get them stopped. You know why? Because that is their right to go out there and practice their free speech. Regardless if you don't agree with it, if you don't like it, if the majority of people don't like it, it doesn't matter. You have to let those people get out there and do that. Because if you stifle their rights, you are stifling your own. Yeah, I might want to go up and punch them all in the face. But guess what? And I might give them, a little bit of my 2 cents. But I would never call the cops, tell them to come down here and arrest them. or try to get people together and go out there and get them out of the way or this and that, because you can't be doing stuff like that. This country is supposed to be about freedom. We have long been away from that. This person saying homegrown terrorists buy a weapon of mass destruction. National Guard with syringe rifles. That's the only way to protect us all. These people literally want the government to keep them safe. We gotta keep people safe. As if keeping people safe wasn't the justification of exterminating a bunch of people in the last century. As if keeping people safe was, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? I forget what I was saying, but keeping people safe has always been the mantra of the tyrant. Oh, we're doing it to keep people safe. Hey, why do you got your boot on that guy's neck over there? Oh, well, we're doing it to keep you safe, sir. Oh, was he some kind of criminal? Yeah. Meanwhile, that person, all they did was criticize the government. Which again, people are being killed for that now in America. People used to say it when I was a kid. Oh, in this country, we can criticize the government and not have to worry about any kind of retaliation. You know how long it's been since I heard somebody say that? It's been forever since I heard somebody say that. Yeah, look at all these screenshots I got. Where were we at? I don't even know. And these people are talking about limiting access to all of this. Yeah, that's what the FEMA camps are for. This is disgusting. Guys, we're in for it. We are in for it. It's not going to be fun where we're headed. It is not going to be fun where we're headed. This is a very dangerous mindset. Very dangerous mindset. And this is one article, and only a small fraction of all the comments in the one article. This is the mindset all over. Do you think it's possible to actually wake people up now? No, it's really not. The people you can wake up, there are people that are open to it. These people are not open to it. They listen to the television. They do the bidding of the television. They think like the television. They are the television. Pretty soon these people, will be seeing videos of people getting drug out of their house because they're unvaccinated and thrown into a van and taken to a quarantine center that just happens to be a FEMA camp. And you'll see people outside clapping as they're getting rid of the undesirable trash, filth from their neighborhood. Calling them Republicans and Trump supporters. Meanwhile, this guy might have voted for Joe Biden. This guy might be a full-fledged Democrat, identifies as that, but he just didn't want this shot. See how dangerous? I would never, ever want the government to come down on any group of people at all whatsoever. These people are all on their high horse. All on their high horses, and they think that what they're doing, they're better than all of us. We did what we were told. You're responsible for perpetuating this and keeping it going. But you know what? Every time I read stuff like this, the first thing that comes to mind, I can't lie. The second thing that comes to mind, the first thing that comes to mind is, wow, these people are gone. The second thing that comes to mind is, Father, forgive them, for they do not know right from wrong. That's the truth. That is the truth. And yeah, New York Times lying about how Washington vaccinated the whole military, and that's how we won the war and this and that. No. It was developed in 1798, and 1801 it was, well, published. So, yeah, that's kind of a little odd. You got people laughing at this person's comment at the top here. This is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. And I wish I could tell the real truth on here, but about the, Delta variant, but I might get this video taken down. It already might get taken down. I said the V word too many times, but I guess we'll have to see. Father, forgive them, for they do not know right from wrong. This is insane. This is insane. Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.